Ta-na-na-na, 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 Oodhum.
Who will bell the cat? Long back, there was a rat, popularly known as Mr. Rat's Button Eye. He had an enormously big family. Life was very pleasant for them. They had a nice place to live with abundant food, cakes, pastries, pies, and whatnot. They ate, chit-chat, sang, and danced. Briefly, a life of full enjoyment. Their distant relatives also joined them from time to time, and some of them never went back. Do you know why? So obvious. They fell in love with the place. That place was fun, and that too all the time. On the contrary, on the other side of the city, there was a cat family, leading a life of extreme scarcity. Life was very hard for them. They struggled for food as well as safe hideouts. To add to their sorrow, there were many monstrous dogs around. They were mean and cruel. They took the big share of almost all the food. Life was so miserable that one day a starving cat decided to leave the place in hope of a better life. Now let me tell you a little about this cat. She was so skinny that her people mockingly called her Skinny Phyllis. She was a real fighter and quite positive amid hardships also. She promised herself a turnaround and thought,
I will put up a good fight until I gain a happy and prosperous life. No less. Meow.
Do you want to know? Was her decision to leave her place turned out right or not? Let's find out. Skinny Phyllis roamed all around, hungry and thirsty. She became very tired. She sat in a corner, sad and hopeless. She regretted her decision and thought she would die without realizing her dream. But what's this? All of a sudden, her eyes caught a sight that filled her with delight. She saw a swarm of rats fearlessly binging on a piece of cake, unaware of her presence. She whispered,
The food smells so good. But the sight is tempting even more. I could not have asked for better.
Without wasting any time, she pounced on them and caught one whom she gulped down without even chewing. She belched and exclaimed,
Such a yummy meal after so long. My starving belly is happy and full. Can life be this rosy? Unbelievable.
Her search for a new place had ended there. Her courage to explore brought her reward, a new abode of abundance. She looked happy, isn't she? She ate delicious rats every time she got hungry. Thereafter, she basked in the sun for hours without any fear of dogs. That continued for days, weeks, and months. Now the same skinny cat looked fat and chubby, yet cute. Let's check what happened to Mr. Rat's family with this unfavorable turn of events. From the moment she arrived, life was very difficult for the rat family. They lived in extreme terror. Their count was shrinking day by day. They realized it was not safe anymore to roam freely. Any day they could become food to the killer cat. Mr. Rat's button eye was wise. He took the matter in his own hands and called an emergency meeting. Let's peep into the meeting hall now. All the rats gathered. None looked happy. The fear of who could be the next had weakened their morale. Their place had certainly lost its charm. The silence of the meeting hall was interrupted by Mr. Rattus. He rose from his seat and addressed his folks.
As we all know, that our families live in extreme fear these days because of a killer cat. She knows all our hideouts, attacks us unguarded. So many of our family members have lost their lives. So my opinion is, it is not the time to be sorry. Instead, we need to act before it gets too late. Enough of this. We need a solution now. Our smart people come up with ideas. We can't let this killing continue.
Everyone became silent, as if none existed. They were scratching their brain for a plan that could save their people. After a brief pause, a smart-looking rat stood up and suggested,
Since this cat moves so silently that we fail to notice her presence near us, why don't we make her walking noisy?
One of them said, What do you mean by that? He smiled and said,
How about a news for the cat on the loose? Fun aside, I just meant that let's put a bell around her neck. That bell will ring every time she moves. This trick will alert us, after which who doesn't know that they have to run to a safer place? Thus, problem solved.
Brilliant! 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 What a smart idea! The entire rodent clan praised him for his wit, except Mr. Rat's button eye, who still looked lost. The smart rat who gave the idea asked the leader of the pack,
Mr. Rattus, didn't you like my idea?
Mr. Rattus said,
Oh, no. Your idea is great. But what bothers me is who among us will bell the cat?
The pin drop silence was back. The soaring confidence of the group just vanished. Do you know why? Because they knew that no one would dare to go to the cat and be a fodder to her. After all, who wants to die? They all knew that life is precious. All the attendees left without a word to find a new doable idea which could save their community. What happened next is something not to miss. Do you want to check it out? That chubby cat, Mrs. Skinny Feline, fell in love with a hair bow that had small bells. And is it tough to guess the reaction of the rat family? They were overjoyed with Mrs. Skinny Feline's passion for beauty.
The end. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye. See you again with another story. Thank you.